Hey everyone, I'm Yvette Lloyd, host of Life Her podcast. This is another solo episode, and I really want to discuss so much when it comes to this area, entrepreneurship, that most people find themselves either in the starting phase or transition phase or just the keep going phase. And I want to discuss more about faith over fear and the lessons from entrepreneur journey because a lot of us we go through a lot during our entrepreneurship journey. And what I've been seeing a lot when it comes to entrepreneurship is people living in their own hometowns and they're saying that they don't have any support when it comes to people coming to their business, spending their money. They looking for their family, they looking for their friends to support them and everything. And in reality, that's not your audience. That's not your support system. Those individuals are people that personally know you. They know your journey. They know many things, even if it's in like a personal level. However, you can't force someone to support you. You can't cry about someone not supporting you. These are the things that you need to strengthen in these many areas because we have a world full of people, and some people they do have to leave their hometown and grow in a different city or state. However, if you can't make it at home, you can't make it nowhere. That's just my personal opinion because you have thousands of people that live in your hometown that don't know you, but it causes you to have marketing skills. You have to be able to market yourself, put yourself out there, post as much as you can. If people following you that know you, just let them unfriend you and follow you. You're on a mission. God has you going in a direction, and your everything of your vision is bigger than what they can see. And you got to understand when you're thinking bigger, they're not thinking the way you're thinking. So you got to keep going. And that's when that fear is within you because if you are fearful to market, how are you going to market anything? People want to know you. They want to get to know you and everything when it comes to you having a business. If I want to utilize your services, what do you have for me to be able to support you? And it's a lot of people that don't know you enough to even support you because you're not putting it out there because you're too focused on the individuals that live in your hometown and looking for them to support you as far as like friends and family of that nature. And you can't let that be your focus. You can't let people handicap your mindset for you to be able to move forward and prosper and do the things that you need to do. And so that's when that faith comes in, when you really have to have faith to continue on with your life, with your career goals, and not really think about the faith that people don't have within you, because if they're not supporting you, they don't have faith in you. They really don't fool with you like that. And that's what comes with success. That's what comes with you living your dreams and doing things that God asked you to do for yourself. Because when you continue to elevate, people continue to run away or dislike you or find something wrong with you or create a whole bunch of people that to come join them to dislike you to come with it. That's just what it is. We just can't make that our focus, and we cannot just sit up here and just cry about what people aren't doing for us. What are you doing for you? You need to do the things that you're supposed to do for you. Stop worrying about all the other nonsense. Build your faith up and get rid of that fear, because you can't have the two colliding all the time. You can't. You gotta move forward and move past it. Once I started to see what faith can do and what fear can do, it created me to want to have more faith in myself than more than fear. Because actually, like when I usually see fear come in my way, or I'm fearful to do something, to step outside of my comfort zone, I realized how uncomfortable it was and how it made me feel. It had me want to go right back in hiding, to a point I will say, don't nobody like this. Won't nobody like what I say? What I'm doing isn't good enough. You will start to create and find any excuse possible for you to not succeed and step out in faith. And you will be stuck in fear. And that fear will be stuck with you for the rest of your entire life if you don't conquer it. And I can say when I started my daycare center, I wasn't I was fearful once the business actually started. Once I got licensed for my daycare center, and I'm broke as heck. And I'm like, "Oh god, like I got to get some kids. I don't know how I'm going to get kids." And then that's when I realized, how do anybody know I have a daycare? Yeah, friends and family may know I have a daycare, but how can I get people that aren't in my friends and family circle? You know, how would I get people outside of my Facebook, outside of my Instagram, outside of those things when it comes to family and friends following you on social media, or people that's in your hometown following you on social media? How can you get the other cities that's surrounding you and the other different sides of town realize who you are? And I realized that Google was my best friend. Creating a Google business had helped me get more kids enrolled into my daycare center, where I realized that I had a waiting list. A lot of people was looking for the daycare hours that I had. A lot of people was more considering in-home daycares more than actual daycare centers in a commercial building. And that's when I realized, okay, I am a target market where this is needed. So once I went into my Google business and I started to put my hours in operation, and then I realized, like, wait, I need a website. They need to know what my daycare looks like. They may even need to know what I look like. They may need to know all these different services that I provide for the kids. I'm helping kids prepare for kindergarten. I'm teaching them how to read, write, know their names, know their addresses. I'm teaching them all of these things, which are some things that you find very hard to get when it comes to even childcare overall. And I started to stand out more when it comes to my services. And I also implemented services as far as children with special needs. I went to school for early childhood education, but I also minored in intervention specialist when it comes to handling children with special needs. And previously, before that, I worked in the public school district working with kids with behavior issues and different special needs as far as cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, autism, just all the different disabilities when it comes to children, and I enjoy that myself. So when I know that this is my area, these are the services that I can offer because I have the experience in it, I started to implement that within my business into my marketing. And that's when I had more people coming in to the market to know, like, hey, it's a in-home daycare here. And during that time, I started off with 6 kids in my daycare center, and I wanted to expand to 12, but I was scared to do that. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing. I had no help from anyone. I didn't know the steps and procedures of different things that I had to do until I realized, like, man, I really need to read up on this. I educated myself. Even though I knew I was scared to do these things, I still did the research. And once I did the research, and especially when you could see different videos on YouTube, it expand your mindset. And when you see someone else could do it, you're like, man, I could do this too. It's not that bad, but it's just finding the resources when it comes to doing those things. Because when I expanded from 6 kids to 12, I had to get my home um zoned. And I didn't know I had to go to the building inspector. I didn't know I had to go to zoning to even make sure that my home is presentable for it to become a commercial home. Once I get the zoning approved through the fire department, that's when you go to the building and they come out. You got someone in a plumbing area, electric, and was it plumbing, electric, and gas, and just the building overall. They all come in and inspect your home. Right behind that, I needed a new breaker box. That was expensive itself. That's thousands of dollars for me to get a better breaker box. And then if it's something wrong with plumbing, I had to spend that too. These are like 8 people in my home that's inspecting it for me to make my home a commercial home to get 12 kids approved. And this is the things that you have to go through back then. And then not only that, you'll have to go to a city council meeting to be able to get approved in front of council, and you have to have all these people say yes. And it was just it was a fearful moment, but it created me to have faith to keep going even though I knew I was scared. I wanted, that was something that I wanted to accomplish, and as I'm accomplishing that, I'm like, man, I want a girls program. I want to talk to young girls and guide them. If I'm doing this alone, just imagine the things that they can learn from me to be able to get themselves educated and see another side of the world. Because you have one girl that live on the west side and then another girl stay on the east side, but one girl never been to the east or the west, and they only stuck there. And you have kids that never just been outside of their town before, and that's when I was able to expand my brand and go to other cities and states and go to different events and bring them along with me so they could get the experience. And what I'm trying to say is, when you are in fear, it holds you back from actually seeing what's on the other side. And when you are on the side of fear, you will never get to know what's over there. But once you get over there and you see what's there, you see the potential, you see what can happen, you can see your vision, you can see so much clear to a point it'll create you to have an addiction of going outside of what is can make you fearless. And that's what I learned over the years, where I found that on the other side of fear is success. Once I experienced success so much, it became an addiction for me to be successful. Then I realized, okay, I am extremely successful with the different things that I'm doing. What it does is it accumulates people to dislike you. And I'm saying, like, why is everybody not liking me? I'm not understanding. I'm thinking when I'm doing this guy's work, I'm doing something that I've always dreamed of doing. Why is it such a problem? Why is it such an issue that these people are so upset with me? And I've always been Yvette since day one. You've known me for years. Now all of a sudden I'm stepping out on fear. You don't like me, and it just didn't match. I had no understanding of it. This is my early 20s. I'm just doing what I love to do at the end of the day. So then it's so crazy because in the beginning, it was more fear than faith. I didn't have no faith at all in absolutely nothing that I was doing. I didn't even know what faith was. I didn't. I was just going with the flow. I was just going with the flow. Yes, I thank God. Yes, I believed in God and everything, but faith wasn't even a part of my vocabulary. It wasn't it wasn't part of my thoughts. It wasn't part of absolutely nothing. It just it was just that it was gone. So I really didn't develop faith or anything. Not so I started my daycare in 2008. I started my youth program in 2012. And then I started Life Her podcast in 2019. So I didn't develop no faith not until 2019 when I started podcasting. And that's why podcasting is a different angle for me because I look back now and I see all of the things that I've done and me communicating with so many people. I'm realizing that my faith is unstoppable. My faith is there. Who gonna stop me but me? You know, and it took me to go through many different trials and tribulations when it comes to running a business, when it comes to you being successful, when it comes to you growing mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And it took me a while to actually get it, you know, to actually have the faith so strong to a point no one could interrupt it. So now when I carry and have my faith, I know that no one can get in the way of it because of the confidence that I had when it comes to me having faith. I had a huge lack of confidence when I knew that fear was always getting in the way of anything that I do. But when I realized so much that people love you to be in fear. Once you start seeing people for who they are and people start to realize like, yeah, she's scared. You know, sometimes scared could be a good thing because people are underestimating you, but you already know what you're capable of doing. And you already know that what you can do. It's always good to hide what you can do because a lot of people have a bad habit of judging a book and by its cover and don't think you can deliver on what's within you. And that's from them not really getting to know a person of who they are. However, when it and a lot of people underestimated me on plenty of occasions. Some people said I was too positive or you always doing too much or why you always posting this? Why are you doing that? I had so many people dimming my light without me realizing that's what they're doing to me because I was believing what they were saying to me. I thought I was doing too much. I thought I shouldn't have posted that. Maybe I should delete this. Maybe I should listen to them because they know what they're talking about because they see something I don't see. And that's exactly what it was. They saw my light and my light was getting too bright for them and then they were becoming absolutely jealous because the things that I was doing was a position where they wanted to be in their life. And you're not responsible for someone else's life when it comes to success. You could put them in positions, they could go to meetings with you, they could go to networking events with you, they could they can do all the same things that you do. It just depends on how that individual delivers. But what people don't understand as I realize as I grow older, they don't understand the relationship that you build with God when it comes to you and entrepreneurship journey. Um my journey is very personal to me because at the end of the day, that's all you have is God and he's going to get you through it. I had crying nights, I had depression moments, I had suicidal thoughts. I had so many things that I was like developing over the years of me being an entrepreneur that I have realized later on that it was nothing but my faith and the grace of God why I'm still here today. And it really kicked in even more of a notch of my position in life is when I lost my mom and my husband and my cousin and my mother-in-law, just dealing with multiple losses. And that's when I realized, like, wait a minute, I'm supposed to be insane right now. I'm really supposed to lose my mind at this moment. I'm really not supposed to be here on earth today. I'm not even supposed to be on this podcast right now because of the things that I went through. However, with my faith that I have within God, He has gotten me through so much. I know I got so much more that I could get through. So whatever comes your way, once you leave the fear behind, whatever comes your way, you will become unstoppable. Because who's going to stop you? Because you have faith. No one can't take your faith away unless you let them. Like, absolutely nobody. This is your body. This is your mind. This is your soul. This is your heart. This is you spiritually. And you don't have nothing, absolutely nothing to be fearful of because of your faith in God, knowing He's gotten you through so much in life when you supposed to have been taken out. The fact that He still have you here and He's still coming through for you and you still coming through for you yourself, that's a faith moment. It creates so much for you to actually grow and do so much more in life itself. So, like, when it comes to being fearful, think about who you in fearful of. And when you think about who and what you're in fearful of, ask it, like, what is it doing to stop you? Can it stop you? Can it push you? Can it seal your mouth shut? Can it abuse you? It can do a lot of these things to you, but are you against your will? Are you not doing this because you don't want to, or are you thinking about what people will think of you? So fear will send you through all of those many, many changes mentally, and it'll create you to lose your mind. So I prefer you to have your mind and actually understand who you are. You you are amazing. You are extremely dope. You don't need no one to tell you what you can and cannot do. You don't, because you already know what you can do for yourself. So you always have to deliver and come through. You always got to understand those storms that you go through. The storms can be so heavy to a point you will just break down. But yet, God still woke you up in the morning. Who else gonna wake you up? You? That's about it. It's between you and him. And when you see how those storms roll, once you hit one storm, get through that storm, another blessing. Another storm, another blessing. Another one. That's exactly what you're gonna keep getting. More and more, but you gotta go through some things for you to actually get there. And the reason why is because it's strengthening you, it's giving you what you're supposed to see, it's giving you to create boundaries, it's giving for you to transition your mindset, it's giving you to be able to do things that you never could do before, but he's giving you the tools for you to be able to do it now. You just have to understand that. It's always a reward. But you gotta take that first leap and just take off. Because if you never take that leap, you will never see the results. You have to be able to take the leap to see the results, because if you don't, you will never see it and you will find yourself stuck. And that's where people want you to be. A lot of people really don't want to see you go far. They'll give you a run for your money. They'll tell you what you should do. They'll tell you what you shouldn't do. They're dictating your whole life. They're telling you everything that they feel that they want you to hear, so you won't be able to see yourself on where you need to be in your life. Don't let people hold you back no more. Them days should be over. Start living for you, because ain't nobody else gonna do it. It's a special moment for you, because you don't want to waste your time and years on not accomplishing what you've been wanting to accomplish. Life is too short. People are dying. I'm gonna just be realistic. People are passing away so fast, so unexpectedly, and just extremely random. And you just always want to make sure you get there. But however, you do have to take care of yourself. You have to take care of yourself. Take care of your health. Take care of your mind. Get professional help if you need it, because you have to get out of this funk. Like if you keep the funk there, the fear gonna be there, and you will never get out of that space. And it's not healthy at all. If no one isn't supporting you to become a better version of you, they don't need to be around you. You don't need to be around them. You need to remove yourself, and you don't have attachments to nobody. You may have a child or something with them, okay, fine. But that's what co-parenting is for. You have to learn how to put yourself first, because someone will kill you before you kill yourself. And they will gladly do it. They will not care at all and move on with their life. That's just like I've watched my mom and husband take their last. Oh, I didn't watch him take his last breath, but I watched my mom take her last breath, and I found him gone. At the end of the day, people will grieve in those moments of it being fresh and happening. But once they are underneath, and the funerals is over and everything, everyone is gone. They are gone minding their own business, attending to their own family, their own lives, doing their own thing. And here you go, still stuck, not able to do absolutely nothing. But you're capable of doing whatever you want to do. So start choosing faith over fear, because it's that season. It's that season for you to come through. It's that season to start making things happen for you. You always have to do that. Always. So putting yourself first is the best thing that you can do. So make sure you don't have any like daily habits that paralyzes you to whatever that you need to do, because it's not good. It's not good at all, because it's like it took me a long time. One of the good things to do is journal. I remember when I was sitting in my kitchen with a calculator and a notebook, and my bank account balance, it was just, oh my God, it told me like, you can't do this. You cannot do absolutely nothing. And then it's like I had this vision of my daycare center, Miracle Child Daycare. And then I had like a number, and it didn't add up. And I'm saying like, what? And then my fear kept saying like, you are going to fail. You are going to embarrass yourself. You don't have the resources. But the faith whispered to me, and it already said, I'm already ahead of you. Just move. Just move. That's all I want you to do. That's all faith was telling me. Just move. And I started moving, and I started doing everything that I did not know how to do. I didn't know what I was doing at all. I didn't. And then I had a voice, and it was like listening to fear, and it was like fear and stay safe. And then it take out a leap, and it was just so unknown. But it's like I jumped, and while it wasn't easy, in fact, it was some days when it was like real messy. It was really, really bad. But it became the most rewarding decisions that I've ever made in my entire life. And it created me and shaped me and molded me to who I am today. It did. That was just all I had. That was just all there for me. And from me just taking that leap, everything just went over, you know? So faith or fear, it doesn't mean it's like you're to never feel afraid, because you're always going to feel afraid. But it means that you feel the fear and acknowledge it, but you don't let it stop you from moving forward. That's the key, not letting it stop you from moving forward. And as an entrepreneur, faith will come in many, many forms. Like, you will be amazed on the different forms that it come. It could be fear of falling. It could be fear of not having enough. It could be fear of what people say. But less, faith says, I know the plans I have for you, but the plans will prosper and you will not be harmed. You will not be harmed at all. And faith shifts your visions. It shifted from what you want to believe in and what you believe in. And you just have to believe. You constantly have to believe of the different things that you have to do. So I really want to give you some different practical takeaways, really, of different things that you can do. And it's like, start small, but start. But don't wait until fear disappears, because it won't. So it's always going to be there. And then feed your faith daily with prayers, scriptures, worship, or even whatever that strengthens you in your spirit. Because some people, um, they they pray to their own higher power. And also surround yourself with believers. The community matters a lot. It's times where you could be around people that just think negative all the time. And if you are around those type of people, you seem to inherit their negativity. That's what you don't want. You got to learn how to set boundaries and remove yourself early on. Don't wait too late like I did. I stuck around a lot of people for too long when they been had an expiration date. I should have kept going, and I should have left them where I found them. Um, and then remember your past wins. Always remember your past wins. They're proof of things that you overcame from in life before. And whew, I think about my wins all the time. And it's so crazy because I have so many. And I didn't realize how hard I was working. Like, I was really working hard. And I didn't realize how much I was doing. I didn't realize how much accreditation that I had, how much respect I had, how many people that know me, how many awards I've gotten, how many articles I've been in. I didn't realize all of this until later on. And I'm like, man, I am pretty dope. I've done some really dope things. And it's just you really just having that proof there. Like, man, sometimes I'd be like, bet you really that girl. So here's the truth. Faith over fear isn't like one choice. It is a daily decision. Every time you face uncertainty, you you get to choose. You get to choose, will you freeze in fear or will you move in faith? It's totally two different things, but I hope you choose to move in faith. I hope that these stories encourage you and take a leap out, even if you even if your knees are shaking heavy and you just like, no, I don't want to do it, because you never know. You just really never know your next step of faith, and it might be one that changes everything in your life. So if this episode speaks to you and it is someone that needs a reminder that fear doesn't get the final decision, it doesn't get the final say so. And as always, thank you so much for tuning in to Life Her Podcast, where we keep it real, we keep it raw and rooted in faith. And I hope you guys really like this episode. I hope it encouraged you in many, many ways. Just always choose faith over fear. And you got this. And make sure you tune in on all major platforms and subscribe on YouTube, y'all. Peace.